changing the definition of abuse was a feminist law. You might not know this, but women lie. Women have done this with abuse. I interviewed 1,000 women in the past 2 years. I did a show in London. I brought in Christians. I brought in married women. I brought in all different types. I've done street interviews in Ireland, done them in Miami. I've done them in Chicago. I've gone all over. And what I found is whenever I would ask a woman if she was abused, naturally I would just believe her. Until one day in my chat, somebody put, ask if she filed a police report. And it blew my mind. I could maybe think of one girl in like 2 years who filed a police report. So I thought to myself, well, that's strange because if they were abusive, why would you not go to the police? And what you might not know is family court is different than criminal court. So if a woman claims abuse in family court, typically, there's a lot of government incentives. So in England, for a while, they were giving free housing. And when they gave free housing to victims of abuse, guess what happened? The abuse accusations went up 300% that year. In family court, it's not based off of evidence. It's based on a balance of probabilities. Now, the issue is family court is typically settled by a judge. It's not settled by, a jury of your peers. And a lot of the judges are kind of simpy, kind of feminist. It's sort of typical, okay? So if one girl goes up and cries on the stands and just, oh, I was abused, then he loses his kids and she gets free housing. And I've interviewed men that actually had evidence, text evidence, that the woman was going to falsely accuse the man of abuse and planned it with her friends. Judge didn't care, still gave her primary custody. Women in all different time periods have done this. They claim abuse. What they do is they change the definition of things. There was a Domestic Abuse Act. Now, this expanded the definition of abuse. Now, abuse isn't a man hitting a woman. It's also emotional abuse, financial abuse. So if a guy says, no, Becky, you cannot spend $3,000 on the credit card, she can go and say, I was financially abused. So no, women claiming abuse is not proof that they're divorcing for good reasons. So go back to your drawing board of excuses for women. Changing the definition of abuse was a feminist law. It was a way to extract more resources and power from men. Because if I can say that you are verbally abusive, then I can go to court and say he's verbally abusive. Give me the kids. Give me the money. You guys all jumped and you simped because Crowder yelled loud at a woman. None of you have yelled in an argument before. None of you. I couldn't believe Candace Owens called him a monster. I couldn't believe Lauren Chen went out and said he was abusive. As a viewer, this baffled me. You guys didn't think twice about a small clip of ring footage, a very small clip of ring footage being leaked from a 10-year marriage and didn't think, that's a little fishy. Maybe we should wait. If he was really abusive, maybe they'll go to criminal court. No, of course not. Abuse used to be a real term. It used to be a real thing. But now, abuse has turned into, he said things I don't like in a way I don't like, and simps back women up in this. They do, and it's the most frustrating thing. Let me put a camera in you guys' houses. There's gonna be no verbal abuse. Get out of here with this stuff. I mean, you're gonna see more men walking away. The Crowder situation was the biggest simping I have ever seen in my life. The answer should be, if someone comes out and say they were abused, did you file a police report? And did you go to criminal court? And if the answer is no, sorry, don't believe you. Now, to me, this was suspicious. And it's suspicious because I've done so many cases or interviewed men where a woman leaks a piece of footage completely out of context, okay? They don't say what exactly happened. And so when I saw this footage, and I've shown it before, I just knew this wasn't the full story. Biblical marriage is submitting to your husband in all things. And I'm sorry, guys, not using a car and being told to walk the dogs, that's not abuse. You might not like the tone, but it's not abuse.
Love you, but Stephen, your abuse is
okay, and so this is what women do. I've seen this. They'll start talking to the lawyers, okay? And the lawyers get in their head and tell them, oh, that's abuse, that's abuse. So again, they change the definition of abuse. They add in financial abuse, emotional abuse, all these things that aren't real abuse. And then the woman goes and tries to get evidence of it.
Watch it. Watch it.
So now that's what he's saying. He's clued into what's going on. So he's saying, watch it. You can't say abuse. That's not actual abuse. And he's right, guys. Not ladies. Like we have to get this out of our head. A guy telling you no in a tone you don't like is not abuse. It's just not.
Stephen threatened to hit me. Dr. Walker,
threatened to hit me.
You want to play those?
So they're arguing, and I know this, I've just seen it too many times. They're arguing about her going around saying that he's abusive. And that's what they're arguing about. And he's saying, I didn't mean it that way.
I will fuck you up. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that, Hillary. I didn't mean it that way.
So now he's saying, do you want to play those games? I will you up. Okay, I didn't mean it that way. So now, I want you guys to understand how I'm processing this information. I'm thinking, so I have a girl that's already lying. I mean, she's leaking out of context stuff to the press, and because sorry, how else did you get that? If you were scared, why are you not scared to talk about this publicly and go around to all of his friends? That doesn't make any sense. And the reason I need specifics is women cry abuse for everything, and we've actually lost the meaning of abuse. If you go to, and I know this because I'm doing a divorce documentary. And so I'm actually interviewing men that are in the process of getting absolutely wrecked by divorce. And a lot of them have had false allegations put out against them. And a lot of those, basically what the feminists do is they expand the definition of abuse to include things like coercive control, financial abuse, and even physical abuse. A lot of times, girls don't talk about how they hit first. And so a lot of times what girls will do is they'll say, oh, I'm being abused, but they don't talk about how she hit him first. Now, anyways, so take footage for social media, maybe family court. But in case this goes wrong, she's going to need to document the crazy things that you did. And don't get me wrong, fellas. I am sure that she did a bunch of crazy things. Many times what happens, the woman does crazy thing A, crazy thing B, crazy thing C, crazy thing D, and then the guy does one crazy thing back, right? She says she's nagging him for 5 days straight. She does that. And then he yells because he loses his temper, right? And then, but boom, she's recording. All she's got is the yelling. That's all she has. So now she brings it to court or social media, and you're the bad guy.